Hey guys, what's up? It's Christian here, back at you for Sneaker Talk with a brand new video, and today we're doing a heavily requested one. This one is going to be all about how I make my money to buy sneakers and how you can make money to buy sneakers too, or buy whatever you want, whatever it may be. But because we are a sneaker channel, I'm sure most of you guys are interested in buying sneakers, and a lot of you guys are also students as well based on my YouTube demographics, or at least a good amount of you guys are. So hopefully you guys can take some of this stuff I tell you and apply it to your life. Also, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I upload daily videos like vlogs, unboxings, reviews, mall vlogs, a lot of other kind of content, sneaker lifestyle oriented. So if you're into that kind of stuff or you like vlogs, feel free to subscribe for more videos. So here's a little brief background about myself and my current situation. I'm a 21-year-old guy living in Toronto. I live with my parents. I am a full-time student at York University, which is about an hour away by bus one way, so I travel a lot, and I don't have an actual job outside of YouTube. I actually quit my job so I could pursue YouTube, and it's turning out pretty well. So growing up, I was very fortunate to live in a family where our financials were pretty secure, so I was able to get a new pair of sneakers every single year. We would usually buy sneakers at like Payless Shoes up until around maybe middle of elementary school. Middle of elementary school we started buying like Nikes and Adidas and stuff like that, but really nothing too expensive, just whatever was really on sale, what was on clearance. My mom was always very fiscally aware and always likes to save money. My mom's Filipino. You guys know we always look to bargain and try and get the cheapest possible thing. Now by my first year of high school, I actually wanted my first pair of sort of expensive sneakers. I wanted a pair of Nike Dunks, and this is the colorway right here, and I ended up getting them during a winter break at Champ Sports, and the retail price I think was $100 or around $100 at the time. And my mom, being the cheap Filipino that she is, she would ask for a discount at the cash register, and sure enough, she was able to get a discount of like 10% for SPC. This was way back, like first year of high school was a long time ago. So I wore those Nike Dunks to the ground, and they were just like destroyed by the end of it. So I wanted to get another pair of sneakers, and this time I was actually researching sneakers and looking online and looking at different brands, and I ended up stumbling upon the brand Supra footwear. Now there was a pair of really cool Supras I wanted. They were this pair right here, a black and neon yellow pair. I thought they were the coolest things ever. Now I think I was about 15 or 16 years old when I wanted this sneaker, and the budget that my parents would allot to me for buying sneakers would be 100 Canadian dollars. That is about 70 US dollars. So 70 US dollars is the most expensive sneakers I could buy. So if I wanted to get anything more expensive than that 70 US dollars or 100 Canadian dollars, I'd have to fork over the extra amount. Now these Supras that I wanted were on eBay for 130 Canadian, so I had to pay the extra 30 bucks to my dad, and I was able to get the sneakers. This would be the last pair of sneakers that my parents ever helped pay for. Now growing up, I grew up with a lot of like entrepreneurial tendencies. I was always a big fan of trading cards like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and then Beyblades, Bakugan, Battle Beat 'em all. Like every single collectible item or collectible toy that you could think of, I tried getting growing up, and I'd always buy, sell, and trade them. I really grew up playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, and I actually would go to like weekly tournaments and stuff and try and win, and I actually did pretty well in some places. However, by the time junior high rolled around, the hobbies of Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and all that kind of stuff sort of died down. People deemed them very childish, and so all my friends who played these collectible card games and stuff, they pretty much stopped because it wasn't cool to do in junior high anymore. So as time went on, I realized I had all these Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards sitting in my binders in my bedroom, and I really didn't have much money. I grew up with an allowance of about $5 a week until grade 7, which is like freshman year in junior high. That's like what, $3-4 American, that was my allowance. And then by the time I hit junior high, my allowance was about $10 per week. Now my dad runs a small business at home, a home business. He sells electronic radio parts online. He imports, exports, all that kind of stuff. And one of the places he often sold his goods on was eBay. Now I looked at my binder full of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I just knew I could make money off of it. I've sold them in real life, but I never tried selling them online. And so that's when I asked my dad how I could sell items on eBay. Now by the time I finished selling a lot of my Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon cards on eBay, I made about $1,000 to $1,200 over a few months. Now there was one major issue when it came to selling Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and that was my inventory was not unlimited. I had a limited amount of cards I had in my collection, and once they were gone, they were pretty much gone, and I knew that I didn't want to keep buying Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards just to sell them, so I changed my interest, I changed what I sold. One thing I noticed growing up was I was spending a lot of my allowance and a lot of my money on candy. I would literally spend my entire like $10 or $7 allowance on candy right after school on Friday. I would come home, ask my dad for my allowance, and then I would go to the convenience store and just blow it all, and then have barbecue Lays and like pop and whatever and play Halo 3. That's when I got the idea of selling candy at school. My junior high didn't have a vending machine at the time, and I knew that there were kids out there just like me who wanted candy but didn't have the easy access to it. So I became the candy dealer at my school. I would sell chocolate bars, candy, gum. If you went to my junior high, you know that I was on my hustle all the time. I had a little box with all my inventory I would bring to every class, so if people were like, yo, what candy you got? I'd be like, I got this, and they're like, take my money, just take it. So basically, to get my candy, I would go to dollar stores like Dollarama and other places where I could get candy for sort of like wholesale or lower prices, and then sell them back in school for about a 20 to 50% markup depending on the item. And I made about $15 Canadian per week, so that's pretty good money. I ended up getting an extra locker without the school knowing, just for my inventory for all my candy. Eventually, I saw an opening for the pop market in school. Our pop selection in our vending machines was pretty crappy, and it was sort of expensive for what you were getting. So during one winter or spring season of junior high, I ended up buying like 12 packs or 16 or 18 packs of Coke, cans of like whatever pop I could get at the local grocery store. Pro tip, pop, or soda as you Americans call it, have really great profit margins. One issue with this is that people wanted cold pop, and when it came to summer, my pop was not refrigerated. It wouldn't be able to compete with the stuff they were selling at the local convenience store. So I was like, you know what, I gotta hop off the soda pop market, can't do it. Now moving on to high school, I was still hungry, I was still thirsty for the hustle, and so I continued to sell stuff in high school, and what I sold was sunglasses and watches. Watches like this thing, it doesn't even look like a watch, but you put it on your wrist, it's a watch, no put on your wrist. It's a watch, you hit the button, it lights up, cool stuff, right? So I'd get cool watches like that and other watches as well, and I'd get sunglasses from China. So the watches and sunglasses would cost me about $4 to $5 Canadian each, and I would sell them at school, and I would sell them on Facebook marketplaces like the Facebook Black Market for about $25 to $30 each. Those profit margins were insane. So on average, after paying for bus fare and stuff, I was making about $20 Canadian per item I sold, and I'd be selling about 7 to 8 items per week. Eventually in grade 11, I found this pretty cool thing called perler beads, where you would like melt down these plastic beads and make 8-bit designs. Here's like one, for example. I have like a dead mouse one here I made like a Comme des Garçons one as well. And then I would go on eBay and buy these little like ring things here. Eventually I found a wholesaler, but I would buy these ring things, and then I would buy these bead necklaces, so you could turn these things into necklaces as well and sell those. First I started just making them for myself and wearing them at school. Then people at school were asking me where I got them, and I'm like, oh, I made them. And they're like, holy crap, you made those? Can you make me one? So I'd make them and make them their own custom necklaces and keychains and stuff like that, and I would sell those at school for a couple of months as well. But eventually I just realized that the time invested into it was not worth the profit, and so I just quit. So yeah, I moved on to other things. Well, I fell in love with music and electronic dance music, and I became a DJ. So I would DJ some school dances here and there, I would DJ some small events, and some events were free that I DJ'd and stuff, but some were paid, and some of the paid ones paid well. Like a school dance paid me $300, which was really fantastic. So I DJ'd on the side. I have my mixes still on YouTube if you want to see my mixes. You can search up DJ Cry6. That was my DJ name, DJ Cry6. So I made some pretty decent money DJing, but it was really once in a blue moon kind of thing, like maybe once every other month or so. It wasn't very frequent. I wanted something more stable. Then in grade 11, I ended up working at Aeropostale, a clothing store for the holiday season, and they liked me so much they kept me around for part-time. I ended up working there for about 2 or 3 years. Fast forward 2 years, I ended up working at Foot Locker as well, so I got a job at Foot Locker, and I was also working at Aeropostale, so I was working 2 part-time jobs to make money. Eventually, I found out that there was a pretty cool resale market for sneakers, and being the entrepreneur that I am, always buying and selling stuff, I became a sneaker reseller. So I would buy a lot of sneakers from Foot Locker, resell them, and I would also buy sneakers from Facebook and Kijiji and other local marketplaces and just buy them for the low, sell them for the high. I would do that, and I also did that after I no longer worked at Foot Locker. After I stopped working at Foot Locker, I ended up getting hired at a local pharmacy, which was a 5-minute walk away from my house, which was a total blessing. It was super close. It also paid really well. It paid about $13 per hour Canadian. And then I ended up getting fired from Aeropostale because I missed work once or twice because I didn't know I had work because they had a messed up times schedule thing. Anyways, I got fired from Aeropostale for some BS, so I continued working at the pharmacy. Later that summer that I got fired from Aeropostale, my mom went to the Philippines to go on vacation and see her family members there, and so my mom actually works for my dad at the home business that we have, and so I was doing my mom's work while she was gone. So I was again always working 2 jobs. I was working at the pharmacy this time while packing orders for my dad. Fast forward, after working at the pharmacy for 7 months, I got signed to Much Digital Studios, a YouTube multi-channel network under the Much Music Corporation, Bell Media, under Bell. You guys, if you're from Canada, you guys know Much. It's like MTV. It's a sister company to MTV, I believe. So I got signed to them, and I realized that if I got signed to them, I want to really push myself on YouTube. So I was a full-time student. I was doing YouTube. I've been doing YouTube all these years in between everything, and I was making some small pocket change here and there, but not too much. And I realized that I couldn't do work, school, and YouTube and do it well. So I did one of the most unrational things you could do. With $6,000 in credit card debt with bad spending, I quit my job at the pharmacy and I pursued YouTube while going to school. Fast forward to today, I'm able to buy all of my stuff and everything and live the lifestyle I'm living via YouTube. I'm making my money off YouTube now, just off YouTube, and brand deals on the side. About 80% of my money is from YouTube AdSense, Google AdSense. So when you guys like watch ads before the videos start, or if you click an ad, for example, so I end up getting like 1 to 3 cents per thing. 80% of my money is from Google AdSense, and about 20% of my money is coming in from brand deals on the side. And I wouldn't get these brand deals if I never did YouTube in the first place. I also sell some of my sneakers on the side, ones I don't wear as much, and I also get some money, some pocket change with merch, selling merch. If you guys want to buy merch, you can. It's www.sneakertalk.ca. So yeah, I get some money from my merch as well, but not too much. I actually haven't broken even from selling my merch yet, which is pretty depressing. So there you guys go. That is like my life story, my life entrepreneurial story of how I've been making money my entire life. Not anything too crazy, just buying and selling stuff pretty much my whole life, hustling, trying to make money whenever I can. And yeah, that's how it is. This is just how it is.